Meeting to order. We'd like to begin by inviting Father Brian Lowe of St. John Baptist Church forward for the invocation.
Good evening, everybody. Let us pray. Loving God, as we come before you this day, we ask your blessing upon our city, upon our city council, our mayor, and all those who serve our great city. We ask you to lead and guide all conversations and deliberations, that in all things we may bring greater glory to your name. We ask all this in the name of Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Father.
Welcome. I wish I could stay, but I have a meeting at my church next.
Okay. Thank you, Father.
We'll stay for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Finley.
Here.
Councilmember Robleski.
Here.
Councilmember Spears.
Here.
Councilmember Powell.
Here.
Councilmember Shaw. Council President Bartlett.
Here.
Councilmember Denzine.
Here.
Councilmember Seifert.
Here.
And we have a quorum present. I'm not aware of any amendments to the agenda, so we will move to approval of the minutes, beginning with minutes number 2024-06-WS.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, motion second. Any discussion? Ready for a vote?
Councilmember Powell.
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert.
Aye.
Council President Bartlett.
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski.
Aye.
Councilmember Spears.
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw. Councilmember Denzine.
Aye. The motion passes. Next, minutes number 2024-10-RG.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, motion second. Any discussion? Ready for a vote?
Councilmember Powell.
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert.
Aye.
Council President Bartlett.
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski.
Abstain.
Councilmember Spears.
Abstain.
Councilmember Shaw. Councilmember Denzine.
Aye. And the motion passes. Next, we have presentations and awards, and we're going to begin with the Madison Police Department promotion ceremony. Chief Gandy, please come forward.
Tonight's one of those nights when it's fun to be the chief. So we had several openings on the police department for supervisory positions. Because we're growing as a city, we created 2 new positions, which created, for lieutenant, which created 2 new positions for sergeant, and things moved down the line that way. And then through a retirement, we had another opening. So tonight we are honoring 6 members of the department. 3 are being promoted to sergeant, 3 are being promoted to lieutenant. So I'd like to start off with Sergeant Shannon DeFazio. Shannon was hired on the Madison Police Department on June 4th, 2018. She served in the SRO unit and training division, where she assisted with creating our officer wellness program. She also became what's known as a community mental health officer. So the unique thing here in Alabama is we don't have enough mental health workers out there. So officers donate their time to go to special courses to learn how to become a community mental health officer. We will call them out to a person suffering a mental health crisis, and that officer will ask a series of questions and to determine whether or not that person should be, or is a threat to themselves or others, and should be involuntarily committed. But in 99.9% of the time, they convince that person to seek help on their own, and then they facilitate that help. She's also a crisis negotiator, which she became in 2022, and she's an instructor in defensive tactics, a new course we have here called Policing the Teen Brain, where we teach our officers why teenagers make those decisions they make. And also, there's a big dose of juvenile mental health issues on there too, and our officers learn how to deal with those types of situations and be able to facilitate help there. And finally, something you will not catch me doing, she is a yoga instructor for the department and created a course for police officers in yoga for stress relief and officer wellness. She did very well on the sergeant's process, and tonight we are proud to promote her to sergeant. It's called the pinning ceremony. Pick somebody to come up and pin it on there and hope you don't stab them with it. Sergeant Russell Owens. Russ Owens was hired on the Madison Police Department on 9/25/2006. He has been an active member of the SWAT team since 2013. He was formerly a narcotics investigator with the North Alabama Drug Task Force from 2018 to 2024. He previously served on the Madison Police Department Street Crimes Unit, served in the investigative division as an investigator, was a member of the Honor Guard, and is a RAD instructor. That's the Rape Aggression Defense, if any of you have taken that course. And if you haven't, ladies especially, I would encourage you to take that course. We've got nothing but positive feedback from them. So you've seen this person up here already, Sergeant Jesse Scroggin. Jesse was hired on the Madison Police Department on August 11, 2008. He previously served in patrol, was a canine officer, something near and dear to my heart, served as a crime scene officer until 2021 as in the investigative division, currently is a firearms instructor, defensive tactics instructor, and has been a SWAT team member since 2022. All right, go to the lieutenants now. Lieutenant Ralph Dahl. Ralph was hired on the Madison Police Department on January 20th, 2009. He was made a member of the SWAT team in 2010, has advanced to team leader for SWAT, and he oversees and plans all SWAT operations. In fact, the team probably wouldn't operate without him. He served as a school resource officer and was a school resource officer sergeant supervisor for the past 4 years until he was promoted. And he was instrumental in implementing a program we have with our schools called Handle with Care. Ralph is also an instructor in defensive tactics, policing the teen brain, and something called AVERT, which is a crime prevention program where we teach different businesses and organizations how to defend themselves against things like active shooter situations. Lieutenant Weston Tate. Lieutenant Tate was hired on the Madison Police Department on June 28, 2010. He served as a sergeant on patrol since October of 2019. He heads our honor guard and our crisis negotiations team. That's essentially the hostage negotiation team. He's an instructor in verbal de-escalation, previously served in the traffic safety unit, and is our sworn representative on our new records management system committee, where he's teaching the rest of us on how to use this pretty complicated system. And finally, Lieutenant Tanner Ward. Tanner was hired on the Madison Police Department on January 24th, 2011. He was selected to the SWAT team in 2013 and currently serves as an assistant team leader and as a sniper. He's a member of the Street Crimes Unit in 2013, was promoted to corporal in 2014, was promoted to sergeant in October of 2019, served on patrol in the training division. He's an instructor in firearms, defensive tactics, and also the rape aggression defense, or RAD. Folks, this is probably the finest group of candidates that we've promoted in quite a while, and I can tell you most assuredly that the future of this department is going to be a good one with supervisors like that out here. So thank you.
Congratulations to everyone. Thank you for sharing this moment with them. We're going to let them make their way out into the hall, and then we'll proceed. Next, we have public comments. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Please state your name and the district where you reside when you come to the dais. We've had a number of comment cards turned in, so we will take those in order, beginning with Mary Jane Whitehead.
I have a handout. Do you mind if I...
You can, sure, if you want to just pass it to the mayor, he'll pass it down to each of us.
I am not savvy enough to bring some.
Oh, that's okay. And what district do you reside in?
I actually lived in Huntsville, Alabama, but my parents are permanent residents of the cemetery.
Okay.
Mayor Finley, Madam President, and esteemed members of the City Council, I thank you for allowing me to speak with you tonight, and I'm here to try to bring your attention to the cemetery behind the historic Madison City Cemetery north of Mill Road, right behind the fire station. My father, Thomas Ray Gooch, Rainbow Division, World War II veteran, was laid to rest there in June of 1984. And my mother, Jane Gooch, was laid in February of 2018. The Madison City Cemetery was the prettiest, most peaceful little cemetery for years, and many family members loved to go and just sit and visit. Since my mother's internment in 2018, I've noticed a major decline due to neglect and total disregard for the dead that is entrusted in the city's care. It has now become a heart-wrenching experience to visit. My mother's grave had not been covered with grass since her burial in 2018. Raw dirt. I have I've given you a few photos to see things through the eyes of visitors, and it is truly disheartening. This is a small list from my Mother's Day visit, 2024, after it was cleaned up for visitors. Graves that are several years old, still with bare dirt, no grass has ever even been planted. Graves and markers that are sinking and raising out of the ground. Headstones moved completely away from the graves and literally sitting on top of the ground, waiting to topple over. Quarter markers that are not located near the grave sites. Some of them are strewn next to the trees. Drainage pipe that was installed and now floods the back corner of the cemetery. A new residential building project butting up so close that they can literally cross through the cemetery. Water spigots used to rinse off the residential building dust have been broken since before October 2023. These are just a few of my concerns that I've noticed, and none of them are caused by storm damage or vandalism. It is strictly neglect and lack of funding. I am aware that no more plots are to be sold in that cemetery, and therefore no money is coming in. I have several ideas and thoughts to try to help in this regard that would include both the cooperation of the City of Madison and community involvement. I would love the opportunity to speak with y'all at some point in time on that. You, as the leaders and representatives of Madison, Alabama, and the community, have a wonderful opportunity of restoring our sweet little cemetery back to its former glory and turning it into a gem for Madison, much like Maple Hill is to the city of Huntsville. I would love, again, the opportunity to meet with you and to learn about
Thank you, Ms. Whitehead. You're out of time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next person who's turned in a card is Tanya Solting.
Can you pull that microphone just closer to you? We moved it. Okay. There you go.
How's that?
Perfect.
Okay. I live in District 4.
Okay, and I'm sorry, what was your last name?
Stolting.
How do you spell that?
S-T-U-L-T-I-N-G.
Thank you.
Okay. I'd like to state up front that I support Governor Ivey's new library policies, and I really hope those policies will be honored by our libraries, as they stand to lose $527,000 in funding if they don't. I've only recently become aware of a group called Read Freely. I don't know a whole lot about them, but apparently they want to keep sexually explicit books in the kids section of the library. Here's something they recently posted. There is a process in place for making sure age-appropriate books are in the correct places in the library and accessible for all of us with different views. We all get the right to parent our children. Censorship by a loud few is not what the Constitution intended. I'm confused by these statements because it makes me wonder what in the world we're arguing about. I think most of us agree with most of what was said there. First of all, if there is such a process in place, it must not be working very well because some really explicit material was and is available to minors. There are pictures and topics in these books that the council had forbidden me to speak about at the last city council meeting I attended because they were too graphic. If these topics are too graphic to be discussed in a room full of adults, how is it okay to make them available to kids? Then there was the next statement, and accessible for all of us with different views. I agree. Nobody's asking that these books be made inaccessible to parents, just that they be moved into the adult section. If you think your child is ready for this material, simply walk over to the adult section of the library, grab the book, check it out, and give it to your child. Governor Ivey's policy even states that a minor can check these books out for himself with parental permission. Then there's the part about we all get the right to parent our children. I couldn't agree more. Every child matures at a different rate, and nobody knows what they're ready to learn better than their parents. I've talked to therapists about this, and I was told that exposing children to sexually explicit material before they're mature enough to understand it is harmful to them and will impact them negatively for the rest of their lives. If another parent has talked to a different therapist or read different studies and come to a different conclusion than I have, They have every right to parent their own children accordingly. But if parents from that school of thought have the right to parent their own children as they see fit, why don't I? Read freely talks about being able to parent no matter what your views are, but how does that apply to someone like me who doesn't think their child is ready to be exposed to some of these things? Isn't making these materials available to my child without my consent infringing on my right to parent my child the way I think is best? It kind of seems like groups like this believe you have the right to parent your children according to your own views, as long as those views are just like theirs. Then there's censorship by a loud few is not what the Constitution intended. I don't think that parents who want to keep their kids away from sexually explicit material are some kind of fringe group or something. I think that view is pretty mainstream. And we've been classifying media based on age and maturity levels forever. You can't vote, drive, drink, smoke, play certain video games, go to certain movies, or buy a Playboy unless you're a certain age. To turn around now and call that book banning and censorship is just not being honest. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stolting. The next person who's turned in a card is Rachel Homolak.
Rachel Holmach, District 4. You guys are going to love this. It's an article from 1819. A local Alabama ABC store made a bold but important step recently by making a children's section in their store. Yeah, the liquor store. Reportedly, the store dedicated an entire aisle to its youngest consumers. From baby's first wine cooler to an after-school Bud Light for your middle schooler, this store made certain that the youngest drinker can find the right drink for them. Of course, the traditional array of sodas and juices is also offered in case any child wants those. Samples are also available at display for any child that's wishing to explore new drinks. This move was immediately controversial. First to call attention to the issue was a group of angry moms claiming that alcoholic beverages should not be marketed to children. Up to 5 minutes ago, we recognized as a society that children should not drink. The group's spokesperson said, I really don't understand why I have to be saying anything. Right? But not all citizens agree. A counter coalition called Drink Freely was formed. A grassroots group funded by the ABC board, Drink Freely, defended the store's display, saying, if you don't want your children to drink alcohol, it's your job as a parent to watch what your child drinks. One member of Drink Freely offered her testimony. I'm an alcoholic, and I come from a long line of alcoholics. I wish that as a child I was able to drink alcohol, as it puts me in touch with my roots. Yeah, Alcoholics Anonymous also spoke up. They said, many men, women, and children are alcoholics, and it's time we come out proudly. Drinking may have harmful effects on children, but that's just bigotry. Now, letting your alcohol-inclined child drink, it just leads them to drink anyway, so what's the problem? In the fight for jungle juice for kids, one news organization, Alabama Food and Drink Reporter, has taken up the mantle. With the help of a generous donation from the ABC board and Bud Light, the outlet is working tirelessly to report the fight with the most biased accuracy. One dedicated reporter is constantly seen stalking the aisles of the store, making sure children are able to pick up any drink that they desire. The fight remains heated with crowds showing up at every ABC board meeting and city council meeting. The drunks show up, with the most loving and tolerant, although heavily slurred, speech, clearly exposing the judgmental ways of those evil Christian nationalist Nazis who won't let kids let loose and have a blowout after a hard day in indoctrination camps. Schools. At publishing time, Drink Freely added a new demand that Moonshine Hour be made available weekly for children wishing to escape the summer heat and enjoy a cold beer. This is what y'all sound like.
Ms. Homolak, your time is up. The next person, you need to be seated now. You need to be seated. The next person who's turned in a card is Ashley Singleton. There needs to be order in the chambers or you're going to be removed. What? Okay, District 7, thank you.
So I don't really have that issue.
Sorry.
I understand that this council has limited governance over library policies, and I don't want to keep wasting your time. I don't really want to be here, y'all, no offense. But as long as there continue to be advocates of censorship speaking before you, I'm going to be here to speak in support of the library. I believe I speak for the majority of Madison's residents when I say we're highly satisfied with the library's current operations. There are no sexually explicit books in our library. Books are already shelved in their age-appropriate locations, and there is a functioning process to review and challenge potentially inappropriate materials. There is currently material in our library at this moment that I don't like or agree with. I'm a rational adult, and I choose to not check them out. Individual parents have the right to monitor and regulate their own child's access to materials. They do not exercise those rights over anyone else's child. Everyone else should be allowed to choose for themselves and their families what they read. The library is a place to get answers to questions, and they have a responsibility to provide information to a wide variety of users. No one has the right to make rules restricting what other people read or to make those decisions for other families. The library is not your co-parent. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Singleton. Next is Charlotte Gay.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Gay. I'm here to speak to you as a current...
In what district?
I'm in the city of Athens.
You're in Athens, okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, how do you spell your last name?
G-A-Y.
Okay, thank you.
I'm here to speak to you as a current patron of the Huntsville-Madison County Public Library that you help to fund financially, and you include a library board member. At the last meeting, you voted and unanimously passed resolution number 2024-165-R that authorizes pedestrian improvements to Gillespie and Hughes Roads up to $50,000. Why? Because concerned constituents brought it to your attention. My question is, how many concerned constituents are needed before you'll take a stand on something? 3, 5, 10, 20? You've heard privately and publicly from concerned constituents and library patrons for months now, and yet you do nothing. Relocating roughly 20 books in the Madison Library should be easy compared with tens of thousands of dollars for pedestrian road improvements. A person's mental, emotional, and psychological well-being should be just as important as their physical well-being. We're concerned about the books in your public library system that glamorize and teach our children how to perform and act in an overtly sexual manner. This breaks down the inhibitions and instincts of a child that protect them from abuse. When this is normalized and promoted as the way to act, the child or teen no longer feels uncomfortable and is therefore more susceptible to manipulation and abuse. 2 weeks ago, you were each sent via email a letter from board-certified pediatrician Dr. David Perry, who practices in Montgomery. Please read it in full if you've not already, but here is a portion of that letter. When a child finds a sexually themed book in the children's section of the library, it will create an interest in the sexual theme that may not originally have had. Also, having this material in a book that's obviously for a child tells the child they should be interested in this material, and sex is normal for children. This creates a physical conflict resulting in anxiety, depression, and even sexual obsession. This sexual obsession can increase the likelihood that the child might sexually abuse someone else. He's the expert, not me, not you, so please don't ignore his wisdom and expertise. Why are you dying on the hill of keeping these kind of books on the shelves for minors? Please adopt the code changes from APLS and let children continue to be children, and let's give teenagers something to read about other than sex. Thank you.
Thank you. Christopher Gorman.
How you doing?
Hello. What district do you live in?
I don't know. I live off of County Line Road near James Clemens, so whatever district that is. I'm a parent, like these women before me, concerned parent. I'm a dad. I moved here 3 years ago from Northern Virginia, outside of D.C., where this stuff was happening then. I saw all the parents at the school board meetings, Loudoun County, Fairfax County, and I said, I don't want to be in that situation. After COVID and all the shenanigans there, my family, my wife and I, we decided to bring our daughter somewhere good, northern Alabama. And to see this kind of stuff happening here is heartbreaking, because there's a lot of good people here, a lot of people who love this country and who stand up for the things that are right. And this isn't about censorship, as some folks want to claim. It's about keeping innocence. The internet is everywhere. We can't hide that from our kids, but our libraries should be a sanctuary for learning, and they should not be a sanctuary for indoctrination. Like our schools have become in many areas, I think we do a pretty good job here in Madison and in Alabama, but as a concerned parent, I'm here and I'm saying that we don't need this here. We shouldn't have it. I support what the governor said. We have a good governor, like a lot of the governors in this part of the country, who are saying no. We don't need our children to lose their innocence. We don't need indoctrination. We don't need to normalize sexual behavior for kids in elementary school. I came from a house where physical abuse happened, and so I know what abuse can do. And so we don't need more children hurt and becoming adults that have to deal with those issues as adults. They should be able to be kids. So that's all I'm asking for, that you guys consider what I'm saying, what all these other mothers are saying. So we want our kids to have a place where they can go. I love the Madison Library. It's a great place for families to go, and we just want it to be a safe place. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gorman. Susan Stewart.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me speak. I'm Susan Stewart. I live at 2027 Cameron Road in Huntsville. I don't live in Madison, but then neither do many of the people who've come here to make false claims about books in the library collection and about the library policies. Like previous speaker, I'm very aware that the Madison City Council does not have control over the day-to-day operations of the library, but I wanted to make sure that you and the public know that I and most other Madison County residents support our library and we support the actions of the library board. I did not want to let statements by Moms for Liberty go unanswered. The policies recently adopted by the Library Board are in fact in line with the amendments to the part of the Alabama Code governing libraries which were proposed by Governor Ivey. Those amendments and the last second amendments proposed by the Alabama Public Library Services Board members Amy Minton and John Wall are not yet even part of the code. There is currently a comment period which ends on July 15th. I encourage the Council and members of the public to write to the Alabama Legislative Services Agency, and I'll email that contact information, to request a further review of the proposed amendments, particularly the amendments added by Minton and Wall. The LSA can reject the amendments or they can send them back for further review. We need to know what the economic impact of complying with the new rules will be, since they did not submit a fiscal note when they passed these amendments through. And the Minton and Wall amendments include the troubling phrase, material deemed inappropriate for children or youth. We need to know, what does that mean and who gets to decide? From the presentations made here and by statements made by Minton and Wall, we could expect it to include LGBTQ material, especially the near existence of transgender people and anti-racist content. And just quickly, I want to note the Moms for Liberty is on the watch list of the Southern Poverty Law Center and is considered an extremist group. The letter you got last meeting, Dr. David Perry, is a member of the 700-member American College of Pediatricians, which is not the 67,000-member American Association of Pediatricians. The Southern Poverty Law Center describes the American College of Pediatricians as a fringe hate group that pushes anti-LGBTQ junk science. They weaponize children to promote their LGBTQ agenda. And as for the book, Let's Talk About It, that one with the photocopies and on the posters, there's one of those books in our system. It's in the young adult section. It was written as an antidote to the harmful things teachers see on the internet. It's been edited by doctors and is, doing its job. And another book that gets here a lot is It's Perfectly Normal. It protects children by giving them the words and knowledge to understand themselves. A prosecutor said when successfully, I'm going to run out of time, but there was a successful prosecution of a child abuser based on a child who revealed they were...
Ms. Stewart, you're out of time. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the council? Please come forward. Okay. All right.
Can we wait?
Why don't you come on up, Margie, because she's taking a while. Come on up.
Margie's ready. Let's come
You're ready.
Ready to go.
Okay, hi, Karen's district. First of all, I want to say that I heard some people here say that most of the people in Madison, I speak what I feel. I'm not going to group anybody in, and I wish they wouldn't either. Okay, because if everyone is thinking the same, no one is thinking. Ben Franklin. Okay, let's get to the agenda. I noticed WOW has resolutions 179 through 184, 7 different contracts. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware, but WOW does bundles, and we get a break on what we pay if we do bundles. So I'm curious to know why we have to have, and I know there's other ones that have passed through the council, so I don't know why as fiduciaries, you can't do a better job on getting us some kind of bundles with these WOW contracts. Then I saw Resolution 164. There's a new easement on Highland Drive, and I'm wondering if the property owners have been properly notified. Then we're amending some building codes. So I noticed we'll now need a permit to put a storm shelter. I guess it's in our yard, or is it the ones inside? That was not specified, because now we have ones that can go in our garage and you bolt them down to the concrete. So will we need a permit for that too? The other thing is the county had money to give us 4 storm shelters for Madison City, and nobody reached out for them, so we didn't get any money from that. I don't know if there's still grant funds available for storm shelters, but I think somebody should look into it. Would be a good idea, in my opinion. Like I said, these are my opinions when I come up. I'm not saying, oh, half of Madison County wants this or that, either way. But, yeah, that concerns me. I would prefer that you guys look into why don't we have a shelter in Madison. We get a lot of flooding, we get storms, there's a chance of tornadoes. So I would encourage. Also, on this, these building codes changes, anybody that puts in these EV charging stations will now need a licensed electrician, I guess a permit, because how would you know if somebody's putting one in? But basically, we have so many engineers here. Really, does everybody need it? I mean, if they're an engineer, and it's really not hard to put in one of these things. Anyway, I'm getting short on time here. I'm concerned about those street lights. When we sent the contract back to Huntsville to do our street lights, it said 697 Cobra heads. Is that including the ones that you guys took out and put those harmful LED lights with no shields? And who do we complain to get our...
Thank you, Ms. Daly. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the council? Please come forward. Sure, I'll take it. Thank you.
Okay. I'm Laura Person. I actually live in Huntsville, 35803. And I am here, and actually, you may not know this, but I'm the only Moms for Liberty member in this room. The rest of the people speaking are not Moms for Liberty. They must be misinformed, but I'm the only one. And just for y'all's knowledge, Let's Talk About It was moved to the adult section after a review, and it was determined to be too sexual for children and young adults. And that's something that we asked for. So at Moms for Liberty, we go through the proper channels. We ask for books to be reviewed, and they have a panel of people with children, adults with children, that go through and review them. And we're not a fringe group. It's ridiculous. We're parents who are concerned about our children and what they're reading, and that's it. And, we're a parents' rights group, and we advocate for parents at all levels of government, from local to state to national. And I think that my concern with the libraries, and I come here to speak because you're the library member for Madison, so I think it's important to include everywhere that's going to have contributing members. I find it odd, though, that you're also on the city council. Just going to put that out there. So I'm concerned that you're not following the governor's guidelines and now the APLS guidelines, because they're very forthright, and I realize that some things may be left up to interpretation, and they're going to have to go back to the APLS and ask them for clarification. But I also think that there was no declining votes at the library board. Everybody was just like, sure, we're going to roll out these new policies and we don't really care what the APLS says. And I find that arrogant and disturbing that you're not concerned that $500K is going to be taken from Huntsville-Madison County Library. I mean, how many programs could that fund? How many events could that cut? How many, librarians would that cut? I think it's a concern, and also the concern is, especially for those of us that live in Huntsville, is that they're going to go right to Huntsville City and say, we need that money. We need you to make up for the funds. And I don't think, as taxpayers, we need to ask to pay for one more single thing at this point, because we're all being asked to pay so much as it is, right? And times are tough. So I think they need to abide by the new policies. I think they need to abide by the governor's recommendations and stop bucking the system. Children don't need these books. They don't need to be sexualized at a young age. And we all can see the internet. We can all see social media. I know if any of you have children, you may be shocked sometimes at the things they're seeing online. And they are becoming hypersexualized, and it's disturbing. And I just don't think that Huntsville and Madison County Library needs to be contributing to that. And I'm asking for you guys to just think about that in the upcoming months when these, changes are going to go into place. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Person. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the council? Seeing none. Oh, sorry. Come on. Oh, that's okay. You can hand it to me. Thank you.
Now, just a couple of things I wanted to say.
Please say your name and where
you
live.
Sorry. It's Kathy Young, and I live in Harvest.
Harvest, okay.
Yes. One thing that I wanted to bring out is several people have mentioned that moving books from one section to the other is book banning, but 6 books by Dr. Seuss being removed completely out of all the libraries, that's book banishing. So, and another thing that I wanted to comment on is even though my daughter is 46 years old, I still have a concern because I have been into the library and I have been into the young children section. And there is a book in there because when Aiden became a brother, it is about transgender because he was born as a girl. And he didn't like pink and he didn't like lace, so he must be a boy. So he changed to be a boy. There's another book in there that's My Son Wears a Crown, but that sounds innocent enough. Kings wear crowns, queens wear crowns. That's not what it is. He's a boy one day, he's a girl one day. He's a boy one day, he's a girl one day. This is in the 3, 4, and 5-year-old section. So I would just ask you please to consider this. If you want your children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren, should I say that, to be in there reading those things, then all I can say is I'll pray for you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wants to address the council? Seeing none, we will close public comments and move to the consent agenda and finance committee report.
The finance committee has reviewed the regular and periodic bills to be paid, and also I wanted to point out under the consent agenda, we've got geotech evaluation for the pavilion at Sunshine Oaks, entrance settlements. We've got some WOW internet services for different locations throughout the city, and a 3-year subscription agreement for LexisNexis for the police department. It's going to be out of the legal department budget. And then we also have a $25 donation from IMFLR. And with that, I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Okay, motion is second. Any questions or discussion? Sure.
I think the big thing with WOW is making sure that each location is documented, and that's why they do it autonomously. They do get a bundle for everything. We use each other against each other, so that's a great point, but they want to make sure we know where each one of those bills is going. So, yeah, thanks.
Okay, ready for a vote?
Councilmember Spears?
Aye.
Councilmember Powell?
Aye.
Council President Bartlett?
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski?
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw? Councilmember Denzine?
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert?
Aye.
And the motion passes. Presentation of reports, beginning with Mayor Finley.
All right, well, 4 quick things. I know Renee will talk about the June 26th work session. One of the things that is on that work session, the first hour of that, is, for no better term, a listening session, public comment opportunity for the upcoming 25-26 budget. I think we'll give a couple minutes for each person who wants to speak on that, and council can listen. The second part of that is a discussion on the list of an update on what we have going, and then our first stab internally of kind of letting council know what we see happening over the next 3 years, and looking at the budgetary process for that, and then a little bit longer term. So great time, 5:30, if I'm not mistaken, Renee, right here, and we'll be able to listen to the public comments, which we want to do for that. And that kind of comes out of the Civic Awareness Academy as far as, hey, couldn't we just have a voice in putting the budget together? Kind of, but it has to come on the front end, and then we work through the process, and we definitely want to hear what's going on. Armed Forces Week, we kicked that off with a proclamation this morning. We don't just do a day, we do a week. A lot of different events going on. Tonight, if we got done early enough, we could go down to Huntsville for a concert and fireworks. Wednesday night is the softball showcase. First 500 there. It starts at 6 o'clock, but the open gates at 5:30. First 500 get free hot dogs, but it's a community softball game. And let's see, both those. And then lastly, I would like to ask Dustin Riddle to come up. It's been a while since he's had something on the agenda, but Dustin has a 25-year pin in being with the city. And I want to end by thanking another one of our department heads who's been here that long. I'm coming to see you. Thank you, Dustin, for all you've done.
Okay.
Where's the softball game?
Softball game is at Toyota Field.
Very good, very good, yeah.
Toyota Field.
Excellent. No new business.
District 2.
Yes, I just wanted to mention that last week the mayor had a Madison update at the BBC. There were about 500 people in attendance, and I just wanted to say he did a really good job of keeping everybody catching everybody up on what's going on in Madison and things we're seeing in the future. Also, I wanted to thank the mayor and council for helping fill in for me at the various things like finance committee and such over the last few weeks while my family has been dealing with our COVID adventures. And that is all I have for tonight.
District 3?
I just got a couple quick things. First of all, everybody kind of be patient. We're still picking up storm trash. I know it seems like every time we get trash picked up, there's another storm. It's just the season, so be patient with everybody. And if you have an issue, call in, let us know, and we'll put it on the list and try to get out there. Secondly, I'll address both groups. I thank both of you guys for being here. Both of opposite opinions, on the library. Couple things. First of all, there's a process that you go through to remove those books. Apparently it works. I think you have to fill out some form and to go. Thank you. Can you hear me now? So I feel like a commercial. You go through the process, you fill out the form. I think the library board reviews it. I don't know the complete process because I'm not on the board. But it works because apparently one book's been moved from this location to another. Okay, and most importantly, I think I want everybody to understand our role. There are two things we do. We appoint someone on the board, and we fund or not fund the library. And I don't think either group is for not funding the library, or I hope not. And if you are, then that's fine. But I can tell you my vote will always be to fund the library. So that's all I've got.
Thank you. Board's not here, so District 6.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody that comes out and states their opinion. I love that you want to be involved and that you want to say what's on your mind and bring that to us. And I appreciate everyone that does that. The only other thing is this Thursday, Groove will be playing down at the park over on Shorter. Great times to be there, so if everybody's looking for something to do on Thursday night, 7 o'clock, go see Groove. Other than that, that's all I have. Thank you.
District 7.
Only thing I was going to add was the foot stomp, Connie's comment about the mayor's state of the city. Very well done from the standpoint of just how how big of a part Madison plays in the Huntsville-Madison County as part of that team. That message came through loud and clear, and not just the message, but from the folks that attended, to see the real teamwork as part of that was very nice. So, I think we had county, Huntsville City, state folks, I think even U.S. House and Senate representation, I think, there. So that was nice to see, and I see all the business leaders and folks that came out to that and the mayor's message. So good job. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, and the mayor had announced that June 26th we'll have our work session for the month. One of the opportunities is public comment on budget, but also a CIP list, updates and discussion of our own priorities. And then we also have an agenda item considering tax exemption for hearing aid sales. And so that's our agenda. And Mayor, you had one other thing?
I did, and thank you, John. I was going to say the one neat thing about being able to give that update in Huntsville is talking the partnerships that we have. The State of the City is still the Celebrate Madison event. It's still at Toyota Field. It'll still be an October community event. I think one of the neat things is they're adding a lot of stuff to that. It can almost be like a business expo type thing to try to bring some things in, a lot of free stuff. Quick message there on the State of the City. That's neat. But I did want to add, and I had two different things here. We announced last Friday the Rocket City Softball Showcase, and I think that is a huge win for the city. That is a women's softball, college softball tournament that will be February 19th through the 23rd. The 19th has the two local universities, UAH and A&M, playing a team each, and then that night, Alabama softball is coming in and playing Jacksonville State here at Toyota Field.
Hey, we don't talk like that here now.
Then the next day, there's 8 teams that are playing. Jacksonville State stays, but 3 additional SEC teams, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Auburn, along with 5 other teams. You know, one of the things, this is the Convention and Visitors Bureau put this together with the Trash Pandas and then Steve Smith from our office. It's Mary Beth will tell you, these are the type of economic development things. It's 4 days with those many teams coming in. It's really a big win, and I really appreciate, going back to exactly your regionalism, the Convention and Visitors Bureau using Toyota Field is another way to bring a lot of folks in. So thank you for giving me a time. I just forgot to say that, and I wanted to add that.
Sure. Okay, we do not have any board or committee appointments for public hearings tonight, so we will move to department reports, beginning with building.
Good evening. I've got proposed ordinance 2024-173, amending the city of building codes within Chapter 8, Article 5 of the city ordinances. And I'll just answer, I know Ms. Taylor had a question. All of these permits require permits. Originally, we're not adding any more permits. It's just basically like the storm shelters, excuse me. The contractor has to apply for them. We've had issues with the homeowners applying for them because the contractor forces them to apply for them, and then they're kind of left in the dark after the whole process. So it's just holding the contractors responsible. The vehicle chargers, same thing. We're requiring a licensed electrician to apply for the permit. We still do inspections on them, but a lot of the EV chargers now, they're aftermarket chargers, and that's the main cause of these fires, because they're cheaper, alternative chargers. And that's just requiring a licensed electrician to install them to kind of know the other specs. Service disconnects, this is just something we're trying to get on the same page with Huntsville and Athens. Any new meter-based disconnect, we're requiring those on all new houses or remodels if they touch that meter base. If they're existing, they can stay, but once they touch it, they have to upgrade it. And the last one is any commercial swimming pool that's installed has to be submitted by a registered design professional. They can be a landscape architect, they can be an architect or engineer. So we're just adding that in there to clean some of the stuff up.
And this is just a first reading.
It's first reading, yeah.
Right.
I got a question. Hold on, Dustin.
Oh, sorry.
So I just want to make sure, I'm a car carrying engineer, got a master's degree as well. You don't want me installing the EV thing? You want me to go get a licensed electrician? You don't trust me?
I'm just saying, if you got a license, I'll trust you, but.
I got you. All right. Yeah. Good answer.
Come back.
I don't trust you to do it at my house.
I don't trust me to do it at mine either.
Hey, engineering.
Can you install an EV thing for me?
No, I don't know anything about electricity.
Yeah.
I know about building roads and stuff.
An engineer.
No, he's a civi.
Pardon?
Nothing.
Okay, first tonight I have resolution number 2024-158R. This is authorizing a permissive use agreement with Madison Utilities for property adjacent to the Brownsferry Burgreen Road roundabout project.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any questions? All right, ready for a vote?
Councilmember Powell?
Aye.
Councilmember Spears?
Aye.
Council President Bartlett?
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski?
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw? Councilmember Denzine?
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next.
Next is resolution number 2024-159R, authorizing agreements with the owners of the Birch property. I believe it's 512 Highland Drive, to convey easements to the city for the Highland Drive ditch improvement at no cost to the city.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any questions?
Is this temporary?
No, this is permanent easement. So we got temporary easement to lay the slopes back when we did the improvement over there this is kind of a multi-year project, but there were major erosion over there, flood concerns, so we did some work. We got temporary easements to do the construction, and these are permanent easements so that the city's able to maintain those slopes for the property.
We'll take it in maintenance.
That's right.
And they supported that?
You talked to the homeowners?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ready for a vote?
Councilmember Powell?
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert?
Aye.
Council President Bartlett?
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski?
Aye.
Councilmember Spears?
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw? Councilmember Denzine?
Aye. Motion passes. Next.
All right, next is resolution number 2024-164R, authorizing agreement with property owners Christensen. This one's on Brenda Drive. I don't remember the number, but it's right behind this property to the north, to convey easements to the city for Highland Drive ditch improvements, no cost to the city.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any questions?
I mean, this is the same thing,
This
probably.
is exactly the same. This is adjacent property.
Thank you.
Okay, ready for a vote?
Councilmember Powell?
Aye.
Councilmember Spears?
Aye.
Council President Bartlett?
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski?
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw? Councilmember Denzine?
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next.
All right, next is resolution number 2024-167R. This is award of bid number 2024-007 ITB, Huntsville-Brownsferry Road, Burgreen Roundabout, to Grayson Carterson Contracting Incorporated, $1,589,020.20 to be paid from Fund 38.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any questions? Ready for a vote?
Councilmember Spears?
Aye.
Councilmember Powell?
Aye.
Council President Bartlett?
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski?
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw? Councilmember Denzine?
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next.
Finally, I have resolution number 2024-170R, authorizing an amendment to a professional services agreement with Garver LLC for additional geotechnical borings at pedestrian bridge footings for project 22-006, not to exceed $9,300.75 to be paid from the department budget.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any questions?
Is this the pedestrian bridge on Brownsferry?
This is, no ma'am, this is pedestrian bridge on Palmer Park.
Okay.
This is for the pedestrian bridge abutment.
Right. Near the, in between old and new. Very good. Thank you.
The amendment is in the amount of $9,300. The actual contract is in excess of that, or is that?
Well, so right now, we already have a contract with Garver to do all of this work, and to do for the vehicle bridges as well. So rather than go out and try to find a different sub that we're not necessarily working with Garver, we just amended the Garver contract instead of going to find somebody else.
Okay.
So we're doing it under the heading of the contract that we already have.
I got you.
So that information can be passed on to Garver and incorporated into their plans.
I got you. The scope of this effort, the cost is $9,300.
The scope of adding the geotech to the contract we already have to do the rest of the design is $9,300.
I got you. Okay.
Ready for a vote?
Councilmember Powell?
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert?
Aye.
Council President Bartlett?
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski?
Aye.
Councilmember Spears?
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw? Councilmember Denzine?
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Michael. Training.
You are almost Teddy's favorite person.
Almost.
Almost.
Have again.
A girl can dream. All right, we have
put that as top one.
All right. Proposed ordinance number 2024-141. This is for vacation of a landscape easement. You can see it outlined in red there. This is on County Line Road, a bit north of Watterson Way. We'll still maintain our utility and drainage easement along the front, but this is to facilitate the development of a about 2,500 square foot little shopping center building. And you had your first reading last week, or last meeting.
What's first reading?
No, this is vote, yeah.
Okay, second.
Yeah.
Okay, motion and a second. Any questions? Ready for a vote?
Councilmember Powell.
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski.
Aye.
Council President Bartlett.
Aye.
Councilmember Spears.
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw. Councilmember Denzine.
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Your next item is a first reading, and this is for proposed ordinance number 2024-163, and this is for vacation of portion of a utility and drainage easement in the rear yard at 102 Kelvin Grove Drive. The property owners are requesting the vacation of easement to facilitate addition of a detached garage in their back. They are going through the zoning board to request a variance to be able to put the garage there, but this is another step that would be required to vacate the easement. If the board doesn't approve the variance in its entirety, we don't need this portion of the easement, but they may decide not to go forward with a recordation of the vacation of the easement, we'll see.
What is that easement?
It's a utility and drainage easement, but again, it's just a portion of it.
It's just first reading.
Yes, it is.
They're gonna try it.
She's got one more.
Yes, I do. Proposed ordinance number 2024-171. This is also vacation of utility and drainage easement, and this is for a property on County Line Road. And maybe we can zoom out a little bit. There we go. So there are two parcels here, and we've actually processed a certified plat. Planning Commission has approved the certified plat to join these two properties combined. They're a little over 6 acres. This is at the southeast corner of County Line Road and Production Avenue, and we have a business that has been approved for this. There used to be two parcels, and the easement that's being vacated was where the former property line was. So we'll be back at your next meeting asking for approval of this.
Okay,
Thank you.
Police.
My favorite person. Not because you have a gun, just because you like it.
Maybe a little bit.
That's how
Right. First resolution is 2024-157R, and this is to authorize the memorandum of understanding with ALEA, the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, so that we can place one of our detectives on the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. We've been working with them before, but now if we can actually get on the task force, we have direct access to all of their resources and partnerships.
Move to approve.
Second. Okay, motion in a couple of seconds. Give it to Denzine. Any questions? Ready?
And secondly is resolution 2024-160. Sorry. A little ahead of myself.
Tonight or something?
I do.
Ready for a vote?
Councilmember Robleski.
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
Aye.
Council President Bartlett.
Aye.
Councilmember Spears.
Aye.
Councilmember Powell.
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw. Councilmember Seifert.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next.
No. Resolution 2024-168R, and this is authorizing an agreement with Lexipol LLC for access to the Cortico Wellness app. We have been allowed to join this app early for the rest of this year to pay a portion of that app, and then we're looking to add to the 2025 budget the full price. This is apparently young guys do everything on an app now, but what this will allow us to do is access critical incident stress management and peer support applications to supplement our peer support program. And also this app has physical fitness, nutrition standards and things like that that are specifically tailored towards law enforcement and public safety agencies, especially those that work shift work, and addresses things like sleep interruptions, again, nutrition, physical fitness, and stress management for both the officer and their families.
Move to approve.
Motion, can we all?
Second, it doesn't matter.
Motion, second, any questions?
I just want to say I looked it up. I think it looks fabulous. I think if it's successful, maybe we can look at it for Madison Fire and Rescue as well.
Correct.
Okay, ready for vote?
Councilmember Roblesky.
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
Aye.
Council President Bartlett.
Aye.
Councilmember Spears.
Aye.
Councilmember Powell.
Aye.
Councilmember Shaw. Councilmember Seifert.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Any miscellaneous announcements?
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
And it's safe with a hospital right here local. Madison, Alabama continues to thrive, and we continue to be proud of all that we collectively do together.
It's always exciting when we have something new to talk about at these State of the City or Celebrate Madison events. In this case, we have 4 things that we're excited about, one of which you know, 3 of which I can't wait to talk to you about. And the first one that you know about is the old Three Springs facility. The building formerly known as Three Springs is going to transition into our Madison Community Center. You know, one of the best things that will happen is we have more space for our seniors. You know, we have so many folks using our Meals on Wheels and our free lunch programs. This gives us the opportunity to extend those. It also allows the city to have dedicated space for our special needs community. Children with autism, wheelchair-bound kids who look to play basketball. A lot of different opportunities where we have the space for them to stretch out, be a part of an activity with their families. It creates more space for organizations outside of the city of Madison. Folks like the National Children's Advocacy Center, Wellstone, even the Enrichment Center need to have meetings here in Madison where the folks don't have to travel as far, and this facility will allow them to do that. And then larger organizations like the American Legion, who continues to grow in numbers and do more and more things for our community, will have a large meeting space that they can come to and continue to build off what they've already accomplished. It has a lot of different specialty rooms that the community can use.